We believe that there will be a supermarketer of the future. There will be supermarketers who will work with a set of agents, and we want to be the platform that provides these agents to these supermarkets. Our belief is that with AI, we are truly moving to an era, a hyper-personalized experience.
Hyper-personalization, interesting word.
Large companies have very, very rich first-party data. The combination of data and the new AI models and agents, we believe, will help unlock that finally.
クロスディグワンオンワン始まります。今日のテーマは AI エージェントの最先端事情です。この AI エージェント、本当に次の AI のトレンドになると言われています。この人間の代わりに営業をしたりとか研究をしたりとか、あるいはマーケティングをしたりとか、いろんな人間の代わりになるこの AI エージェント、まだまだわからないことだらけなんですが、早速これをベースに起業した方がいて、なんと日本にも進出してくるので、今日は西海岸からこの CEO に来てもらって AI エージェントとは何か、どんな風に私たちの仕事が変わるのか、そして日本もどう変わるのかということを聞いていきたいと思います。早速ゲストをお呼びしましょう。So CEO of Auxia, Sandeep Menon, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for having me here. Very excited to talk to you.
Is it your first time in Japan?
No, I have been to Japan earlier, but this is a very important time for me to be in Japan because we are launching our Auxia Japan subsidiary.
Wow, so why Japan?
Look, from the time we launched Auxia, we have had conversations with companies around the globe. One of the things that really stood out to me was Japanese enterprises and Japanese businesses are really excited and willing to adopt AI. So this is one area where I at least see from my experience, they are very forward-looking.
So just to introduce you to our audience,
Yes.
So you co-founded with a group of engineers and data scientists from Google and Meta.
That is correct.
And Auxia.
Auxia, yes.
And it's a agent AI marketing platform.
That is correct.
And you were the former CEO of Google, CMO of Google India.
Yes.
And spent 15 years at Google.
Yes, I spent 15 years in Google in a variety of marketing leadership roles.
So you're like the expert in the marketing area.
I don't know if I'm an expert, but I am very passionate about marketing and marketers and making sure that marketers have the ability to kind of really do the right thing by their end customers.
So Google is obviously a wonderful company.
Absolutely.
Why'd you leave Google and start this company? Could you elaborate what AI agent is and how that will impact the world of marketing?
Yes. So if you take a step back, like one of the foundational reasons that we left Google to start Auxia is that it was very clear to us that we are in the midst of a decade-defining transformation in how the best companies will use AI to engage and market to their customers. So it was a very important opportunity for us to kind of build a great company that will help businesses market effectively to their end customers. So I think that was the primary motivation for us to leave Google. In terms of your question on agents, our belief is that in the future, the best companies and the best marketers will work with a set of AI agents which will help them to do their jobs in terms of marketing much more effectively, much more smartly, in a much reduced amount of time. We believe that there will be a supermarketer of the future compared to many marketing people right now. There will be supermarketers who will work with a set of agents.
Okay, supermarketers will work with AI agents. Okay.
And we want to be the platform that provides these agents to these supermarketers.
Interesting. And I heard you're teaming up with a major big bank in Japan.
Yes.
Well, I'll ask about that later. So first of all, just to get an idea, the sense of what you guys are doing.
Yes.
So what are your services?
Yes. So I think the best way to think about what we do is that most companies, large companies, have very rich first-party data, like lots of data about their customers. But I don't think they have the ability or they are currently using that data.
That is correct. They're not making use of that
the data.
It's
exactly.
full of treasures, but they're not using it in an effective way.
Exactly. And especially from a marketing perspective, let's say you're using a banking product. I think the experience that you get might not be that different from what somebody else gets, right? Our belief is that with AI, we are truly moving to an era where every individual user will demand and will expect a hyper-personalized experience.
Hyper-personalization, interesting word.
Yes, and it has been something which has been a holy grail of marketing, but the combination of data and the new AI models and agents, we believe, will help unlock that finally.
So we like to talk into breaking down in 3 parts.
Yes.
So number 1, 3 ways AI will transform society.
Yeah.
Number 2, AI's impact on marketing. You're a marketing specialist.
Yes.
And for the final part, I'd like to ask you about AI and the future of Japan.
Absolutely.
So first question,
Yes.
3 ways AI will transform society.
Yeah.
Could you give us 3 ways that AI will transform the world?
Yeah, so first of all, I think that we are all incredibly lucky to be living in an era where there is so much promise that AI can deliver on, right? And one of the areas that we focus on is like to think deeply about how AI will change the way we all work, right? And I want to kind of start with that. If you think about the enterprise of the future, it's not just about the software that we build. It's more about how will the enterprises of the future, the people working there, how will they use technology to fundamentally change the way they work? And in that perspective, we believe that the organizational structure of the future will be different, right? Because with AI and with AI agents, you don't just follow linear instructions.
Right.
That is not the way they work. You kind of actually explore with them, you co-create with them,
Yes.
you adapt with them. So that's a new way of working. And in that new way of working, I think you will need leaner organizations, less silos, more cross-functional collaboration, and the ability to experiment rapidly.
Interesting. I have a chart to show
Yes.
to the audience.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on this?
Yeah, so if you think about it, like the earlier paradigm was that you would have lots of teams. If you think about a function like marketing, which is what we spoke about, you would have multiple marketing functions, right?
Yes.
Like you'll have somebody working on creative, somebody working on performance media, somebody working on retention marketing.
Very
somebody
siloed and
Exactly.
divided.
Yes, and then you will have a product marketing function, and on a separate side, you will have the product organization, again, very siloed. Like I said, we are moving to a future where we will have more of these supermarketers who will spend their time on more, I would say, strategic problems. And they will then spend or have the help of these agents, which will enhance the ability of what they do very, very quickly, right? It also means that functions will fuse. For example, already we are seeing that the distinction between what a product person does and an engineer does is becoming closer. Similarly, I believe that the distinction between what a marketer does across functions, what a sales or a business team will do will also become closer. Because the supermarketers can do so much more in the future.
So Sandeep, to me, the green chart seems like a startup company. Like you're from the Bay Area,
Yes.
so you know the idea. But
Yes.
we're in Japan. So we are living in a world of this blue structural hierarchy system. Do you think Japan can change? Because it's a very organized, very structural country.
Yes. Look, I absolutely am a big believer in Japanese potential to adopt AI as a change agent. I am seeing it not just in Japan, in any company in the world. Adopting AI is also an organizational change issue as much as a technology issue. But to your question, absolutely, we are already seeing examples across our clients where they're getting much more nimble, much more experimentally oriented, and faster decision making by leveraging AI.
Is this because there's like an AI agent besides you? Because instead of going to your boss or like other departments to ask questions, you can always ask the AI. So that's why the employees have more freedom. Is that the case?
Let me give a personal example, right? So when I was a marketer, right, like I would run a campaign, and then I would often need to rely on an engineer or a data scientist or an analyst to come up with deep insights.
That's right.
I would have to spend maybe hours on Excel sheet. Right now, I can within my product have a conversational thing, and the AI can go and help me do that deep insights, right? Specifically for that, and produce a chart and validate the data, validate my hypothesis, and give me insight on how to improve my campaign. That is a function that typically took 2 or 3 different departments.
Go to first upper floor and ask questions.
Yes. Or go and ask your engineer friend, hey, can you do this query for me? Right? And that is the thing that is changing, right? Like you have a buddy, you have a partner who can help you with all of these functions.
So Sandeep, I 100% agree with what you said, but what's the point of organization then? You can work on your own right now.
That is true.
Yeah.
Means if you see, there is a whole thesis that we are going to enter into an era of solopreneurs, right? So
like
where
individual being like a CEO in a company.
and the companies of the future might be smaller. But I do think that organizational still has a lot of value, because an organization is not just people, it is also culture and how it serves its customers. So I do think that the concept in an organization will survive. And it is just that we need to rethink how we think about structures, teams, silos, and kind of adapt to this new mindset.
Interesting. So we talked about organizational change. That's the first change.
Yes.
Second change, how about the interface?
Yeah, it's a thing that we think very, very deeply about. And my viewpoint on that is that we are still in the very early days. For example, we could have, like, if you think about the first internet interfaces, if you go back and look at how Yahoo website looked in 1998.
Yeah, we have a chart.
So if you, so I think it's an area that where we think about very deeply. And one of the ways, or one of the things I often say is, if you look at early internet interfaces, like how in this chart you have how the Yahoo web interface, I think from late 90s.
Yeah, very classic internet, yes.
Yes, and similarly you have the first mobile interfaces, right? Like that is not how the future will be. I think we are in that infancy stage with AI interfaces, and chat is one paradigm, but I don't think chat is going to be the only paradigm, right? So this is a field that we think very deeply about. I do think that one thing is clear, it won't be the linear workflow execution style that we have with most current software, right? So it'll be one which will be much more interactive. And to the earlier concept of using an agent almost as a partner, we can think about multiple interaction paradigms. It's something which we think very deeply about, and I think on how we can help our customers embrace this change. And I think one of the things which would be important, especially for business related interfaces, is to provide control and transparency. I think those are two really important aspects.
When customers use your service, what will be the interface? It will be like, it will be like a robot standing next to you, or like a box you can like ask questions? Or,
so I think it's a good question. There is the what is the current state and what is the future state. So current state, I think, is a mixture, right? So we have what I would call the classic graphical user interface, where you have where they can go set up stuff, connect data, upload creative, etc. And then behind that, you have what I would call a set of automatic agents that execute and decide.
I see.
Once that is done, then you could use an agent like the analyst agent to go deeper, dig more insights, and give feedback. So it's almost like I would think about it as a loop. You go, you kind of perform some action, and then the agent works autonomously. You look at it, provide feedback, and the agent improves.
So that leads to my third point about how AI will transform the society.
Yeah.
AI agents.
Yes.
So can you define AI agent and how it will change the world?
Yes. So in like the way we think about AI agent is something which can autonomously perform a certain set of tasks or a task with guidance, right? So, what you're seeing is that you already see that in specific functions like software engineering, or in the case of customer support, there are a set of AI agent and AI agent companies, right? Like, which are making it super easy. Our belief is that Auxia, as I said earlier, will be the company that will provide the set of marketing agents that marketing teams can use to automate and make their jobs and their customers' experiences better.
Can you give us an example? Like, say if I'm a customer, how can I experience the work of AI agent?
So you are the bank's customer, and the way they would understand, or they would see the Auxia agent is behind the scenes, right? For example, like I said earlier, the agent might determine that based on your previous actions, right? Like the next thing, the next action you should take should be something, Let's say that you are a bank's customer and you have been doing a certain set of transactions and you have an interest in a particular financial product. Rather than the earlier experience where everybody gets bombarded with the same promotions, things.
Or like emails, phone calls.
Which is exactly the same.
It's annoying.
Yeah, and I often say that it is almost, I grew up in a very small town when I was young and when my father would go to the local branch of the bank manager would know my father personally and he would say, Mr. Menon, I know your son is going to the college, so I think this is what is right for you, etc. So that kind of one-to-one personalization is what tools like ours will enable banks and other businesses to provide.
That's what you call the hyper-personalization.
Hyper-personalization.
So the agent knows the person's lifestyle, the family members, and all the financial situation.
Yes.
So it can give like a very perfect advice.
That is right. Understanding first-party data and then suggesting things, learning from it, etc. So that is an example of how the AI agent comes to the end customer.
Let's talk about how AI will impact the world of marketing.
Yes.
What's your answer?
So as we discussed before, right, like if you look at history and trends, one thing which is very clear is that whenever there is a fundamental shift in the underlying technology and how consumers interact with it, marketing has gone through a change. So if you look back very early on to the days of print media or radio or television, you saw that change. In the early 2000s, you saw that change with internet. We feel that a similar change is happening with respect to AI, as you see in this chart, right? So and AI is going to impact marketing. And one of the theses that we have is, if you go, I have a slide after this, and one of the theses that we have is that companies currently spend a lot of time and effort on what I call top of the funnel in acquiring prospects of users. But what happens after that, which is how do you activate those users, engage with them, grow them, etc., is equally, and retain them is equally, if not more important. And that is an area where I think AI is going to play a very, very important role, because the top of the funnel is very, what I call programmatic now.
Yes.
Right? So if you can go to Google, Facebook, etc., and say, here is $1 million, bring me this traffic, and they can do that to you. But once you get that traffic, how do you do the same programmatic engagement is something which people mostly struggle with.
Interesting, because when I hear the term marketing, it seems to me like acquiring customers. But what you're saying is that the important part is after acquiring customers.
Yes.
You're saying that engagement is an important thing.
I do think that, like, look, Google, Facebook, etc., has made it extremely easy, sometimes expensive, but at least extremely easy to acquire users. Real marketing value is to unlock what happens after that. And by acquisition, I just mean bringing a person into your funnel, right? But after that, how do you engage with them? How do you kind of grow them? How do you make sure that their experience is rewarding is where I think marketing has real value to add.
So engagement is easier to say, but hard in action.
Yes.
So because when I interview a lot of CEOs in Japan, they're not making use of first-party data.
Yes.
So why is that, and how can companies change?
Look, there are a couple of trends which are really enabling this shift. People often, one of the questions I often get is, like, could you have built a company like Auxia 5 years ago? And I think the answer is probably not.
No.
Yes. And the reason for that is two trends are shaping us or enabling us to do something like this. Number one is most companies, including Japanese companies, we talk to them all the time, have spent the last few years investing in data platforms.
Exactly, yes.
Right? So now they have all of this humongous amount of data. It could be spread across multiple sources, but they have spent time in collecting that data, and they have this rich first-party data. And to the point that you said, I think there's a McKinsey study which says that most large enterprises make use of less than 40% of all of the data that they have. I think that's a high number. But sometimes when
it's
I talk
still
to
a high
people,
number, yes. It's still like 10%.
Yes. And like there's so much, because there comes the second challenge, right? Like having data is the first part, but how do you analyze the data? Nobody, even the best companies, do not have an unlimited supply of data scientists. And that is where the new innovations like the LLMs, transformers, etc., play an important part. Technology like ours, that is where we have differentiated IP. we have the ability to connect to any cloud native data source and ingest or understand both structured and unstructured data and make sense out of it, and then use that data to drive intelligent decisioning.
So ChatGPT is like eating all the data in the world. But do you think that data that companies have, like the original data, that's the most important part?
Absolutely, and like there are multiple people talking about that. Yes, the large foundational models have trained on a lot of publicly available data.
Yeah.
But any large corporation has terabytes of data
that you cannot Google. It's inside the company.
Inside the company,
Yeah.
and for right reasons. Like you want it to be private, and that is where I think a company like us comes in. We make sure that whatever we do is within that data set, very protected, but in utilizing that data, right? And specifically for the marketing and customer engagement use cases.
Let's talk about the future of Japan, the third part, AI in the future of Japan. So I agree, 100% agree that first-party data is important, but so my impression is that when I talk to Japanese companies, they haven't digitalized their data. They have like tons of papers.
Yes.
Do you think that's a challenge?
Look, the example that I often give is that any change will take time. So the move to the cloud for data started, I think, in the early 2010s, like when things like AWS and all of that started. We are now 15 years into it. The best estimates are that only 35% of the global companies' data have moved to the cloud. So I think any change will take time. I don't think it's only a Japanese thing. Any change will take time. But to the point that I made earlier, in my meetings with leadership teams in Japan, there is a lot of conviction and there is a lot of belief in this transformation being very important. So I think as long as there is that drive and belief, especially from senior management, I think companies like Japan are definitely on the right track.
Are you entering other markets, other parts of the world?
So our current focus is primarily the US. Followed by Japan. We do have some customers in Europe, but I would say that our focus on Japan is more important.
Wow. So yes, you teamed up with Mitsubishi, UFJ, Ginko, MFUG, Money Canvas, and it's like a platform for personal finance.
Yes, investment.
So investment. So I asked this in the beginning, but do you think Japan has like a potential? It's a potential market of growth.
Yes, absolutely. And there are two trends there, right? Like from my experience, like Japan, when I started as an engineer many years back in early 2000s, and even my colleague Sugu-san started in the iMode team at Docomo. Japan was iMode. Yes, Japan was
before iPhone.
Exactly. Japan was a pioneer in terms of internet data, etc. But a period after that, I feel that many Japanese leaders feel that the internet period, they did not make as much transformation as they should have.
We call that lost like 3 decades, lost decades.
Yes, and so they see AI as a real opportunity. And if you even look at the laws around AI in Japan, they are some of the most progressive. So it's not just business leaders, even the government understands that this is a technology that can help in productivity improvement, which is also a huge focus for Japan, which is why I am personally excited about the Japanese market and the partners we have here.
So other than MUFG, are you talking to a lot of Japanese companies, government officials during this trip?
Yes, we are having a bunch of, like I started the trip meeting a lot of other Japanese business partners that we have. We already have other customers in Japan, like Mercari and NTT Docomo, who we work with.
Mercari, interesting.
Yes, and the objective of this trip, I said the most important thing is, of course, also to launch our Japan subsidiary. So today we're going to have a meeting with about 70 other industry representatives, followed by a small cocktail reception as well. And we also want to use this opportunity to learn, because every trip I come here, I spend a lot of time listening so that our customers can give us feedback, so that we can continuously improve and innovate for the Japanese market.
So for the final question, let's talk about the future. So Masayoshi Son, the leader of SoftBank, frequently he says that like AI is everything, and he will like bet his life. And he's talking about like super AI, that it will surpass human beings. There will be like a perfect AI in the future. Do you think that is the future of AI agents?
I have a lot of respect for Masa-san, so I don't want to contradict him. But my belief is
maybe
slightly
he's watching
different.
this show.
Yes, my belief is that I don't think it'll be one super AI, right? So what you already see is lot of specialized AI agents, right? And specialized AIs. There will be the foundational model. Again, I don't believe there will be one foundational model to rule them all, right? For example, we have designed our system to make use of multiple foundational models depending upon the use case very intelligently. So what I believe is that we will absolutely have more and more intelligent AI systems, but think about it as a super AI system for each function.
Each function, interesting. Each industry, like AI for marketing, AI for sales, AI for PR.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So you would have, we can see two trends happening, right? Like you have what I would call vertical focus. So like you said, sales AI, customer support AI, coding AI, and then you also have industry specific things, right? Like there might be companies which are very focused on, let's say, petroleum and gas, and make sure that
very specific.
Yes, and make sure that the processes, the specific processor for those are optimized. That is the future that I see, underpinned by all of the work that the foundational model companies are doing.
Do you think there will be like AI CEO, like CEO will be replaced by AI? That's a random question.
Definitely. One day it'll be interesting to kind of see. But again, I don't think it so much as a replacement. Like even if you think about like my day-to-day workflow, right? So I can see the change that has happened over the 3 years since we have started, 2.5, 3 years since we have started Auxia. The amount of time that I already spend interacting with AI to make sure that I am more effective, right? And that is the important thing. Like as AI builds the context, have an understanding of it, it can be a very important thought partner, strategic partner to me.
Is Google focusing on AI agents right now?
Yes. So I think all of the hyperscalers are focusing on foundational layer AI agents. I think Google Cloud Platform has a repository of what I would call standard AI agents that for specific functions you can. So Google has a coding AI agent, for example, that you can take and customize if needed.
Okay. Yeah. So Sandeep, we need to wrap up. Any final comments for our audience?
Look, I want to kind of close by saying that I consider myself fortunate to be living in this era of transformative change. I think it's a force of good. And I'm also very excited about how Japan is embracing AI. So I have a sincere hope that that continues and Japan very soon becomes an innovative leader in the field of AI. And we are definitely placing our bet on that. Thank you, Ryan, for taking this opportunity and giving me this opportunity.
No, thank you. I think you inspired a lot of our audience. They were very energetic. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
チャンネル登録もぜひよろしくお願いします。ワンオンワン以上となります。So Sandeep, thanks for joining our show. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Likewise.